Hey there, folks. Today, let's dive into a topic that's been making headlines lately. Food inflation, specifically the rising costs of chocolate, butter, and eggs. Now, I know what you're thinking. Food prices going up is nothing new. But let's break down why this is happening and what it means for all of us. According to the British Retail Consortium's latest shop price monitor, food inflation has surged to 4.2% in the year leading up to August. That's a jump from 4% in July and the highest rate we've seen since February last year. And you might be wondering, what's behind this rise? Well, it's a mix of factors, but let's focus on the key culprits. Supply chain issues, labor costs, and yes, climate change. Helen Dickinson, the BRC's chief executive, pointed out that staples like butter and eggs are seeing significant price hikes due to high demand and tightening supply. When you combine that with increased labor costs, it's a recipe for inflation. And let's not forget about chocolate. The global prices of cocoa have skyrocketed thanks to poor harvests influenced by climate change and crop diseases. So when you're biting into that chocolate bar or baking those cookies at home, remember, those prices aren't just numbers, they reflect real-world challenges. Now, here's an interesting twist. Even as food prices rise, there are some areas where parents can find relief as the new academic year approaches. According to Dickinson, there are lower prices for clothing, books, stationery, and computing gear. It's almost like a mixed bag of good news and bad news for families trying to balance their budgets. But let's talk about the real impact on small businesses. Take Kate Rumsey from Rumsey's Chocolaterie in Oxfordshire as an example. She mentioned that chocolate prices have tripled from around £4,000 a ton in 2023 to approximately $13,000 now. That's staggering. And while she tries to absorb most of these costs in her business model, she ultimately had to pass some of those increases on to customers, a move that saw her product prices jump by 10 to 20%. Some items even had to be removed from her menu entirely due to soaring production costs. This is a classic example of how inflation doesn't just affect consumers. It also shakes the very foundations of small businesses. And speaking of inflation, did you know that overall UK inflation stood at 3.8% as of July? That's an increase from 3.6% in June. Over a longer timeline, food prices have shot up by about 37% in the 5 years leading up to July, compared to a mere 4.4% rise during the previous 5-year stretch. That stark contrast shows us just how rapidly things are changing. Let's take a moment to consider the broader implications of these rising food prices. More than 14.1 million people experienced food insecurity last year, according to the Trussell Trust, a staggering number that highlights the serious challenges many families face when trying to make ends meet. What does this mean for us? It means we need to be savvy shoppers. The utility regulator has encouraged customers to shop around for the best deals, which is more important than ever given these rising costs. And as we think about our spending habits and household budgets in light of these changes, it becomes clear that economic awareness is vital. In conclusion, while we may find some comfort in lower prices for back-to-school supplies, we must remain vigilant about rising food prices and their effects on our daily lives. It's essential for us as consumers and citizens to understand these economic shifts so we can advocate for policies that promote fair pricing and support local businesses. So there you have it. Food inflation is not just about higher grocery bills. It's a complex web of global challenges impacting our daily lives right here at home. Let's keep talking about this issue and exploring solutions together. If you found this information helpful or enlightening, don't forget to like and subscribe for more engaging discussions on economics and society.